Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degenerate. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts. And so for this video, I thought I'd try something new. Wanted to go over or start the crypto corner, where on Saturdays I will go over basically my thoughts on the crypto market and some positions I hold and how I'm adding to them. Really just going over thesis that I have for the next, half a year. And so basically, I've talked about this in prior videos, but I do think that crypto will be topping between May and December of this year before getting into a bear market. Maybe that changes, though. We do have a crypto president. A lot of things have been changing. The SEC is now, aligned with crypto. And so I think that we could be seeing some pretty massive moves in the coming months, maybe the coming years. But I think that it is good to not be getting ahead of oneself. And so, I just wanted to go over my thoughts, my thesis, and really that just comes back to this chart here of Ethereum and this meme that I'll go over in just a minute. And actually, for the remainder of the video, not the movie, I might have Ed step out of the way there just so you guys can see the full picture. And so this is just a screenshot that I have of the Ethereum chart on the weekly time frame. I believe the y-axis is on the linear scale, and there are just a few lines that I've gone over. I did go over these levels in the ETHster video, but I just kind of wanted to break them down real quick here. And so what we have looking at the chart, we do have this yellow line here that is based on pivot lows that we have seen in the past. We actually broke below that recently, so that seems kind of bearish, but we have come down to a level of what looks like confluence as far as support goes, coming back to the all-time highs that were hit in 2018, and then also this other green line here based on the pivot highs from, it looks like, 2019, and then the pivot low here from 2022. It does look like we have tested both of those levels right around $1,400. Got a nice bounce. Currently trading around $1,800. And so, I think that we could be in the discount zone before the May to December highs that we may see. And of course, maybe I'm wrong. All of this, no financial advice, just having fun, looking at charts, sharing my ideas. This channel is all about, a trading journal for myself. And so I just thought I'd share here. And if it is useful for you guys, I will do a follow-up next week. If this gets 100 views, something like that. But if it doesn't, I'll probably just do this for myself, by myself. And that's totally fine. But over here, does seem like we are, at a very nice discount, especially compared to the recent highs that we've seen around $4,000. And then over here, we were testing, I believe, 4,800, and we have not seen those highs since, it looks like, 2021. I believe that would have been in November. And so I think that there's a lot of upside potential. And then you might notice that I do have this red line here, which is based on the pivot high from 2018, and then intersects. The other pivot point is going to be the high from here. And that looks like it was the initial high in 2021. I believe that was in May. Again, cycle highs, May through December of this year is kind of my thesis. And we do have an intersection here in November, and we have not retested that line. If we did test it sometime this year between May and December, that could be bringing price up to around $8,000. So, I think that there is just a lot of upside potential with Ethereum and generally in crypto. And so that is, kind of what I wanted to talk about. And, I really started to pay more attention to Ethereum when I saw this meme maybe a couple months ago. I had seen it maybe 4 years ago, maybe more than that, probably about 5 years ago, maybe 4 actually, I'm not sure. But when the crypto market is, in this plane, they take off, but then ETH holders are left behind on the gangway or the little stairs there. They didn't take off. And so when stuff like this happens, it's, got to take a step back, look at the chart. Does it make sense? What's going on? Does it seem like it's a dip buying opportunity, or does the crypto seem like it is lost? And so I feel like a lot of people have just been super disappointed in Ethereum, given that it did not test all-time highs. It is trading down here, very low. Like I think there was another meme about, it's at the same price that it was at, back in 2021, 2018, so it's kind of a stable coin in that sense. And I just think that's the kind of sentiment that, is a signal to buy, not to sell. Yeah, and I just think that there's a lot of upside potential with this. There's also been a lot of talk about Vitalik being disappointed in Ethereum and how it's evolving. And yeah, I think Charles Hoskinson, I believe that's his name, the Cardano founder and a co-founder of Ethereum, saying that he doesn't think that Ethereum's necessarily going to last 10 more years. But, I think that it will last into the end of 2025. And so I think that there's a lot of upside potential with Ethereum. And yeah, so this kind of just made me realize, wow, actually, I think that this is a dip buying opportunity for Ethereum. And I just kind of really started to reevaluate my thesis. And so I do have 9 points here that I'll go over, and then I'll go into the cryptos that I hold and basically what my plan is for them, which again, if it's helpful for you, that's great. Let me know in the comments. Make sure you watch the video. I will do a follow-up next Saturday for Crypto Corner Sats. And, if it's not helpful, that's fine. It's helpful for me. And, that's really the most important thing, as this is a trading journal. And I feel really pretty good about this thesis here. And so I'm just going to kind of reveal the points that I have here, go through them one at a time. And so, the first point of the thesis is that Bitcoin and crypto will top between May and December of 2025, really just corresponding with that 4-year cycle. And I think just a really nice example of that is with Ethereum topping in May over here. And let's see why I want the, it's because if I'm not in Excel, then you get the nice little green cursor. Yeah, but it topped here in May, pulled back, and then it topped again in November. So that's kind of like the window that I see, although maybe you could draw some comparisons with this to over here, and that we have now entered a bear market. I don't really think that's the case. And there are some other points on Ethereum that I'm bullish on, which I guess I'll get into when I talk about Ethereum. But yeah, I think that there's just a lot more upside potential generally. But yeah, between May and December of this year. And then so another aspect of my thesis, let's see, is that, I do have a savings account, got some savings, and the percent APY or annual percentage yield is less than 4%. And yeah, so I mean, it's great. There are some savings accounts that are a lot lower than that. So relative to those crappy savings account, that's, a pretty nice return. But I think I can do a lot better with Bitcoin and with crypto. And so on to the next point is that, I have to say I do have some debt, but that debt is 0 APR or annual percentage rate. And so, I have some debt. I don't have to pay interest on that. I believe not until, I think, March of 2026, maybe later than that. I'm not really sure. But I do have some debt. And so that is something else to consider. But with that being said, let's just highlight the next point. I do have over 100% of the debt that I have in savings to be collecting that APY. I think it's really risky to be getting into crypto or any investment when using debt. And I feel like Michael Saylor in the past has said, if you've got a house, if you've got a boat, refinance it, buy Bitcoin. And I think it all depends on who you are, your financial situation. This is all very individual, personal, especially managing emotions, stuff like that. And so what I've found is that that's kind of a hard line for me. I'm going to keep all of that debt in savings just to be getting that pretty lame APY. If there is an insane dip buying opportunity or something, maybe I'd roll some of that into crypto to take advantage of the dip. I have not seen that dip yet. And yeah, I mean, I just want to be safe with that. And if I did take any from that savings into, buy crypto, that would be with the plan of, the next paycheck or something like that, replacing that savings to then cover that debt. So generally, the debt is just used for me, for my purposes, to collect that 4% APY. Really not that exciting, but just wanted to put that out there that I think debt is really risky. I think that crypto, Bitcoin, all of it, I think is really risky unless you're managing that risk, unless you're thinking about stuff like this. And so I've put a lot of thought into that. And so that's kind of a part of my thesis. And yeah, really, I think that with crypto right now, given the 4-year cycle and blow off top hasn't happened yet, people at work aren't talking about Bitcoin, things like that, I think that we will see new all-time highs. And I think I can get a better return on my investment or on my savings than I do with my 4% there. So that's another aspect of the thesis. And then so kind of getting into, more of what I plan on doing. So from the remainder of that greater than 100% of debt in savings, let's see, remainder of debt savings is less than 6 months of bills. So my plan basically is I would like to save up 6 months worth of bills and expenses for 2026 so I can leave my job and focus more on investment, whether that's in crypto, whether that's in stocks, commodities. I'm just, kind of working my way towards that. I do think that's a realistic plan, but I need to have, that 6 months of security set aside in case I'm wrong, in case, I'm right. I just want to have that 6 months of cushion. Maybe I need to get a job somewhere else, but, I'm just sick and tired of my job. And so that's kind of my plan. And actually, when I say the 100%, greater than 100% of debt in savings, I actually have basically like the first month of bills in savings in addition to the debt. And so what I'm thinking about the remainder of that is basically to implement it into crypto. So to take that remainder and put it into crypto for greater than 4% APY. And so for me, for my budget, and so for some of you, this may seem like a lot of money. This may seem like a minuscule amount of money. We're all different. I'm just sharing what I'm doing because it's helpful for me. It's helpful for me to talk about this stuff to the camera, to a microphone, format this stuff in Excel in a way that's digestible for you guys, and it makes it more digestible for me. It makes me be able to think about this process and my strategy a little bit better. And so maybe something like this would be useful for you guys to, format your positions and whatnot in Excel in a spreadsheet just to kind of map it out. And so this has already been helpful for me just doing this last night, putting this stuff together. But yeah, for me, basically the remainder from my paychecks or whatever is, on average about $500 a week. And that would then be used to dollar cost average or DCA to build up some more positions. And with this plan, this is nothing really too incredible, but just no more FOMO. I don't want to be in a position where I'm buying the top. I don't want to be buying Ethereum up here when everybody's talking about it. I want to be buying it down here when everybody's posting memes like this, when everybody's trashing Vitalik, when everybody says that Ethereum is going to die in the next 10 years. That is when, I think it is the time to buy. Maybe Ethereum will die in the next 10 years. This is really just like a 6-month outline for me. And with that being said, I've talked a lot about Ethereum, but in reality, I have more confidence in Bitcoin than alts. And whether that's confidence in Bitcoin for the short term, not necessarily, but I feel like I have more confidence in Bitcoin for the long term, and then that then relates to what Bitcoin is doing in the shorter term. If I just want to be getting a greater than 4% return, I feel much more confident in Bitcoin than any alts. And some of the alts that I will be talking about are going to be Ethereum, Solana, and Doge. There are some others, but these are the three that I am probably most interested in. And so, yeah, I'll be talking about those and the other ones that I do hold. And so this spreadsheet that I formatted, I will reveal my positions that are just, kind of approximate as this video progresses. And then I will update the prices. I put these in here from last night, and then the market caps. I haven't added them. I do think that they will be useful, especially when considering these, ones that are lower on the list, and you'll get an idea of why they're lower on the list further into the video. But generally, before I dive into all of it, I'm just gonna go over the coins that I have on this list, and then I'll talk about my positions progressively, going over the charts, market caps, and whatnot as we go through the video. But first, is Bitcoin. Then I do have Dogecoin on there, Ethereum as well. iExec, which is ticker symbol RLC. That's kind of an odd one on here. I'll talk about that. It's really just based on a mistake that I made back in 2021, coming back to haunt me. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's not. We will find out as time unfolds. Also, Ethereum Classic on here. And then, I have to say, Ethereum Classic, I like this, back in 2021 because I just felt like it was much easier to move than Ethereum. But then RLC actually holding some of that, I had to hold some Ethereum to then move it from my cold storage. And so these... Ethereum Classic is not a layer 2 or an ERC20 token, whereas iExec is. And so that's what got me, kind of more back into Ethereum. But I just feel like Ethereum Classic is a little bit more risky. But anyways, moving down the list, I do hold some Ondo, very interested in that token, that coin. Then also Litecoin, Stellar Lumens or Stellar. And then also Pepe, got to have some fun with some meme coins. Aave, Cardano, which I did mention, Charles Hoskinson, and then also Avalanche, Chainlink, Loopring, which some of you might be familiar with if you're invested in GameStop, Solana, Trump token, just having some fun with that, and then Uniswap and XRP. And so, yeah, I'll go over all of these. And before I get into any of the nitty-gritty of those, I do want to point out the exchanges that I typically make my purchases of these with, or trades with, I guess you could say, whether I'm buying or selling. Bitcoin, I use Strike. I think that's a great platform for it. And all of these exchanges, you can see links in the description of this video and basically all of the videos that I put out. If you use my link, I think we both get a little bit of something if you open an account, but no pressure, you do you. Strike is only for Bitcoin, and the reasons why I like it is because you can set up recurring DCAs. And once a week has passed, you get no fee on them. Once you meet a certain threshold, you can move your Bitcoin off exchange for free. And generally, I have found that when I buy Bitcoin on Strike, it's a lower fee. I get a better price. I get more tokens for the amount I put down, or more Bitcoin for the amount I put down, than with Robinhood. But Robinhood's also very easy. I just think that the real difference between Robinhood and Strike is Robinhood probably has a bigger spread, and there are some hidden fees with it, whereas with Strike, I just think it's generally better for Bitcoin. But with the other tokens, generally I do use Robinhood. It's just easy, and it's also not like hundreds of tokens, so that's kind of limited my temptation, whereas other platforms like Coinbase, there's just tons of coins on there that there's just way too much, deer in headlights. I have found, though, that Coinbase, I don't really like the fees. I do feel like Uphold is actually a better platform or better exchange. I believe that each trade has a 99-cent fee, whereas Coinbase, it's a little bit higher than that. I think it's a percentage of what you buy. And Uphold, it's just 99 cents. So, if you do $100 or $1,000, it's just 99 cents. So whatever percentage that is of whatever you buy. But I'd have to say I trust Coinbase much more than Uphold. And so getting anything with Uphold, want to move it directly off that onto storage. And so the hardware wallet that I use is Trezor wallet. And so you, if you want to be, buying Bitcoin, buying crypto, any of this stuff, I strongly encourage moving your tokens, moving your coins off exchange. I have experienced the downfall of BlockFi, Voyager, and Celsius, and that was not fun. I managed to recover and transport some of my positions to my Trezor wallet, but some of them I did not, and that was painful. So it doesn't matter what the exchange is, not your coins, not your keys, not your coins, whatever, stuff like that. So I think that very good to have a plan to move off exchange. And so I use a Trezor wallet, but maybe you like Ledger or something else. You do you, but there's just my info or the link there, Trezor.io. But then one of them I was not able to store on Trezor, and that is going to be Avalanche. I tried to store some on MetaMask, but that did not work out well. I kind of got it lost, and so I wasted $1 attempting to store on MetaMask. And for Avalanche, it's a smaller position. I just store that on Robinhood. That's just for a trade, not a big deal. And if I do lose all of that money, again, not a big deal. And all of this, not a big deal. I think that's a good way to trade crypto. But anyways, I'll start getting into revealing my positions here. And yeah, and for some of you, this may be a lot of money. It may seem like a lot of money. This, for me, is probably a lot of money, but it's just because I do dollar cost averaging. It doesn't really feel like a lot. And so I strongly encourage dollar cost averaging because maybe the limits don't get hit. And I think there's actually a nice example, a potential example of that with Ethereum. And I have prior experience with that limit, that bottom not being hit and me getting left behind. So yeah, I think that daily dollar cost averaging is a very nice way to really remove the emotions from crypto, from trading in general. But anyways, I will reveal my positions here. And yeah, I mean, if you guys have an issue with this and stuff, let me know in the comments. I'm sure that they're probably very small, embarrassingly small for a lot of you guys. But I mean, I'm doing this for myself. This is helpful for me. And maybe these are excessively large. You got to do what works for you. I was doing very boring, like $3 daily dollar cost averages, and I've upped them a little bit more recently. But anyways, let's reveal it. So with Bitcoin, currently it looks like I'm risking just shy of $3,000. Looks like I have just shy of 4% of a Bitcoin. So, very small position. I had in the past had tens of percent of Bitcoin, but I lost conviction and, I was expecting the low to be lower and it didn't get hit. So I think it's really good, daily dollar cost averaging. I think it's a really good strategy. And so my average with Bitcoin so far looks like just shy of $76,000. And so my P&L, I am up 26%. So that right there is better than that 4% APY. So I'm feeling really good about that. And the daily dollar cost averaging that I'm doing with Bitcoin is $40. And so the reason why I picked $40 is because I think $36 a day would be approximately, $250 a week. And I want to have a little bit extra because, while I want to capitalize on the returns for this, just like with the savings account, it's, unrealized until I realize it. But I do want to be stacking Bitcoin. And so basically I do like a $4 to $5 daily DCA that I plan on hodling forever. But then I do have, $36 that I plan on taking profits on later this year. And so I'll go over that because effectively I do plan on holding all of that. I don't plan on selling any of it, but attempting to, be more risk adverse. I do plan on, selling some of that. But anyways, I do have a couple things that I need to update here. So let's first go over to the market cap. And so the market cap from CoinMarketCap, it looks like it's, let's see, can I just copy this number? I'll just copy it. Wait a second. So I don't do CoinMarketCap that often. And so, yeah, I just want to copy this number. Copy that. Oh, well, here, sorry, I'm just going to go back. Sorry, it's a little bit clunky. And so I'll copy that number. There we go. Okay. And so I'll just paste that here. Match destination formatting. And so what I might do with that is, let's see, I will just, let's see. Yes, okay, that's a little too excessive. I want to make sure that the storage and stuff is still in the frame. So what I might do, and I thought this was all going to be currency. I thought it was going to be formatted like this. It's probably formatted like it is over here. So what I might do here is format this not like a currency, or not like a number, but like a currency. And there we go. But then I might, I can't do that any smaller. So let's see, how am I going to do this one? I might have to do this one. And scientific. No, I don't like that. So what I might do is just do this as trillion, and then I will just have 3 decimal places there. And then, so that would mean I would want to put this as 70 trillion. And let's see, sorry, this is a little bit clunky. Actually, no, I need to figure out how I can do this just kind of like automatically. So yeah, let's see. Okay. So maybe what I want to do is market cap, and then multiply this by 1 million. So market cap divided by 1 million. Market cap divided by 1 million. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, this is a little bit clunky, but this is helpful for me. And so sorry to put you guys through the agony of doing this, but yeah, so divided by 1 million. Maybe that's a better way to phrase it. And so I will just do that, and then I will divide that by 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And there we go. So that is, 1 billion, 1 trillion. So there we go. And we got the storage over there. But the MetaMask is cut off a little bit. So I will probably, how do I want to do this? I probably just want to maybe market cap divided by million. There we go. MetaMask is cut off a little bit, but who cares? Okay, so that is $1.869 trillion market cap there. And then now let's look over at the price of Bitcoin, currently trading at 94,357, 94,358, 94,358. So let's type that in there, just being approximate. So actually 94,357. And I'll do 94,357. 94,355. I'll just do 94. So I'm not getting, actually, I don't know. This is tough for me because 94,355. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It doesn't really matter. And so anyways, with this, price came down a little bit. I'm up about 25% on that. So still much better than 4%. And you will see a lot of these down here, a lot less than 4%, some of them negative. But yeah, just looking over here at the chart, the daily chart on Bitcoin, I'm just going to draw a couple of trend lines that may be helpful. And I should note that the y-axis here is linear. It's not logarithmic. And so I'm just going to draw a pivot line from over here to over, those tops. And we did intersect that. And I'm getting this from Gareth Soloway. He has drawn this. I've witnessed it. And yeah, it's kind of a nice predictor for the top here. And maybe that would be suggesting by the end of the year, we could be getting up to around 120,000. So, from current price, what is the percentage move up to around 120? That is, around a 27% move to the upside. So still there is, a good amount of return there. It's not going to 2x from right here, but, that is pretty nice. But let's see. I might zoom in here, adjust that y-axis. And so, maybe there's a target there to the upside. But maybe what we can do is draw some Fibonacci extensions that might be suggesting some other levels to the upside. So this is a trend-based Fibonacci extension here in TradingView. And so I'm just going to do it from like the approximate lows over here to the highs over here, and then coming down to that low that we recently hit, which was around 74,000. If we do take a step back, where might that be taking us? So the 100% extension, so that's basically just the distance from here to here, coming from this low, that will put price at around $135,000. So, that's also a nice target to the upside from current price. That would represent a move of around 43% to the upside. So again, that is, pretty nice return there. And let's see, maybe I want to adjust this to be on the log scale. And so maybe we get, a little bit of a different perspective than what we were looking at in the past. And so very interesting, that 100% move to the upside is now $165,000. So a little bit more appealing there. And we can also see that this trend line, we broke above it over here. And we also broke above it here and have pulled back. So maybe what I want to do is draw another trend line and see, actually, I'm probably going to want to adjust the y-axis here. It looks like we could be going even higher than 165. And so I might draw this like that, and just to be at approximately the end of the year. And let's see, that's kind of being, I don't know, a little bit conservative. We did break through it over here, but we did top over here. And so that's, another possibility. And so around the end of the year, that's around $260,000. So that's a pretty nice move there. But, do I think that's actually going to happen? I have no idea, but just a measurement from where we're currently at, below 100,000, that represents, 175% move to the upside, whereas, if we just do 100% move or a 2x from where we're currently at, so let's see, I'm just going to get that ruler tool again. 100% move would be to, sub 200,000, 188, 190,000, somewhere around there. So I definitely think that there's some 2x potential. And so, while this line based on the linear scale seemed to predict the tops over here on the log scale, it really didn't do it that well. And I think that's actually what we might be looking at. So, or potentially looking forward to for a top later this year. But at the same time, if we do flip back over to the regular scale, maybe we did put in the top. There's a lot of risk in it. So do keep that in mind. But if we do, see that other line up here around 260. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm excited about Bitcoin here, but if it does, pull back down to, let's say, below 74,000, maybe gets to, I think 72 is a level that I had, and or 69,420, just having fun with the numbers. I think that's a potential, dip buying opportunity. And so that would be a time where I probably get a little bit more aggressive with that, but really also just depending on time frame. Maybe we hit, 200,000 before December and then hit 72, 69 after that. I don't think so, but maybe. And then I would probably at that point not be so aggressive with it. But yeah, I mean, I think that there's just a lot of great stuff going for Bitcoin, and I'm just feeling pretty confident in it. So yeah, that is one that, I wanted to share. And then the next one on the list, it looks like it's going to be Doge. And so let's, just see what I have to say about that one. And so for this one, this is one that I have actually been doing daily DCAs since December of 2023, which range from probably $1 up to $10, very boring DCAs. But from that, I've been able to accumulate a lot of Doge. I wish I would have been more aggressive when it was at 10 cents, but I was definitely adding down there. So I feel good about that. But my average is, just below where it's currently trading at. So my average is around 17.4 cents. And so with that being said, well, the reason why I have the asterisk up here is because I'm actually not doing the daily DCAs. I just have a limit buy place for $5 at my average because I don't want to be bringing my average up at this point. If it goes lower than 17 cents, then I would do that. But my goal was really just to get 10,000 Doge, in that I could then take profits at $1, and then I'd have $10,000 there. So that would be kind of nice. But with this, I've accumulated, or I'm risking, just shy of $2,200 on Doge. And I don't necessarily feel I need to be risking any more than that, or at least not relative to my other positions. So I'm kind of putting on the brakes with that. At least for my daily DCAs. If it does go below, then I will resume them. But for now, it's just a limit buy at 17.4 cents. And so let's just take a look at the current price of Doge, see what that's at right now. So I'm just going to try to go for all of these. I'm just going to try to go to the Coinbase chart. And so with Doge, we can see that the current price is around 18.1. And so I might adjust this to just be 18.1 there. Still, it looks like I'm up about 4%. So that's just like, savings account. So not so bad there. And then the market cap, let's see, for Doge. Let's see if I scroll down here, the market cap here, let's just copy that number. I'm just going to paste it here and match the destination format. But then I am going to divide that by, let's see, 1 million. And so that looks like it has a market cap of, that's not correct. That's not correct at all. Copy this number, paste it right up here. There we go. And then yes, of course, Excel, what's wrong with you? Okay, so it looks like the market cap for Doge is 27 billion. And we can see that here, so that looks good. And so, yeah, that could go a lot higher, but it could also go a lot lower. But kind of my thoughts on Doge: A, I think it's fun. B, I think it could go to $1. And C, in thinking about some of these other meme coins that I have down here, I feel like Doge actually has a lot more utility. It's not a layer 2, or it's not an ERC20 Ethereum token or Solana token. It is, standalone. And I think it's also very fast, cheap, and easy to move. And if this does go up to around $1 or settles around $1, I think that could, be a nice way to exchange versus, Bitcoin. The price, it's super high. And so I don't really want to be selling, fractions of a percent of a Bitcoin or exchanging in that. I'd rather, sell, Doge in that sense. And so I think that there's actually a lot of utility and application for something like Doge. It just happens to have a fun name. It happens to have a fun community. And so I think that there's a lot more utility with Doge than simply just being a meme coin. And so I have to say I am still bullish on Doge. I think it could hit $1 this year, but I also think that it could not. And so let's look over at the chart. As we did hit, let's see, prior highs, and this, maybe this is why I would want to look at this on a different exchange, but we do see, actually this doesn't even go up to the all-time highs. So I'm going to look at Doge, looking at, let's see, Binance. I feel like that is probably a better one. Yep, it looks like I've looked at this before. And so Binance hit the all-time high of around 75 cents. And so even, just from current price, which is around my average, getting up to all-time highs, that would be around, a 300% move to the upside. And so I think that there's a lot of, potential with this for it to be going up higher. And then also, I didn't do this in preparation for this video. It was just kind of like a legacy drawing that I had up here, but it does look like we had broken out from this downtrending line that I have drawn there. And from here, let's see if I just move that over to the side. What is this based on? This is a Fibonacci retracement, I believe. So going from... Oh, no, that's just a line that I have down there, I think. This is the... Wait a second. No, that's the 100%. So what is this? Okay, so this is a retracement from the top here. And so this, I need to adjust over here to get to the top there. And so the retracement, we have done a retracement down to actually below the 786. Following, let's see, yeah, so this low over here. So not done a full retracement, which would bring price down to around 8 cents. We do have all this, price action over here that might be acting as support. And we actually do have this like pivot point over here, which I might get the horizontal ray just to kind of show that. The highs over here, we did test them. That's around 14 cents. And so maybe there's a bottom there. So pretty interesting to see that. And let's see, and you can't see, I guess you can see the line up there. Maybe I just take a step. No, I'm not going to take a step back. I will just have to adjust the axis there. You can see the 14 cents right around there, potentially acting as support. And then, but this is a retracement from here to the upside. So yeah, I mean, maybe there's something there. But let's see. Another thing that we could do is maybe do, I just don't want to add too much clutter. Really, I mean, yeah, I don't need to get into the nitty gritty of these tickers, so I probably won't. Because I'm just going to make way too long of a video. This is already 40 minutes long. That's crazy. So yeah, I might just kind of leave it there with Doge. But actually, yeah, it's just if I delete some of these levels, I don't want to delete the adjust the template. But let's see, just get those levels on there, off, and so yeah, so we can see, 786 right there, did pull back to that. And if I do actually a Fibonacci extension from the lows over here up to these highs, and then down to the low that we saw, maybe we can get an idea of that 100% extension. And so that would actually suggest price getting up to around 53 cents. So that's not really too exciting. But at the same time, maybe I want to pull this back to the lows over here. Yeah, that we hit during the bear market. And so up to where we've gone, yep, still, around 50 cents. So maybe I will just leave that over there. But if I adjust this to the log scale, where might that be going? 77 cents, corresponding with a double top there. That kind of makes a little more sense for what I would expect. And if I do drag this over here to the lows from there, that will be putting it at a price of around $1.27 and $1.28. So getting, that dollar price target. So yeah, I mean, that's another possibility. But I'm just going to adjust this back to the linear scale. And yeah, I mean, I think there's just a lot of upside potential with something like Doge. But I feel like I'm a lot less confident in Doge than I am in something like with Bitcoin or with something like Ethereum, which is the next one that I'm going to talk about, which I'm actually down on about 5%. I did more aggressively and start buying more when it hit 1400. But I think I had some kind of like legacy Ethereum in my account from having this RLC, having to move it around. And so that just got my average to be up really high. So unfortunately, that's the case with that. I'm actually just going to take a little sip of coffee. Yeah, so the current price, let's actually look over at that. And the current price, actually, we'll do market cap first. Ethereum is still the number 2, and I can just copy that number and paste it over here, matching that formatting. But then, actually, is that 21? Yeah, okay, so I'll just do that, but then divide it by, let's see, 1 million. Is that 1 million? I got, yep, nope, that's 100,000. So there's 3 zeros there. Should have counted when I typed them in. So that's 1 million. Oh, that's the price. What am I thinking? Gosh. I need to put that number in here. So I'll paste that into there. Sorry for my clumsiness. And then I will divide that by 123, 123, 1 million. And so that as a market cap, you know, a lot higher than something like Doge. And I actually just need to select all of these to do that. So that has, you know, 10 times the market cap of Doge and about, you know, 1/10 of the market cap of Bitcoin. And yeah, so and then for me, as of right now, I've just recently started to get more aggressive with it, but my risk, what I'm risking right now is about $1,500. And, you know, my average price is around 1,900, which is, you know, slightly lower than the current price, which we'll have to, you know, pull that up over here. And so Ethereum, do that on Coinbase. And so the current price of Ethereum is around 1802. So I'll just do 1802 there. And so, yeah, still down about 5%. My daily DCA with Ethereum is 36.25. I have the 25 cents there because Robinhood, if you place it at 36.25, it'll actually do a fill at like 35.90 or something. So I just want to make sure that I'm getting on average about $250 worth of Ethereum a week. And so that's how I have that there. And so this, you know, basically like the thesis that I've gone over, I think that this could go up to at least $4,000. And then that's actually, you know, at least a 2x. I think that this could, you know, 4x, getting up to 8,000. Would that be around a 4x? Yes, because 6,000 would be a 3x. And yeah, and some other things that, you know, I feel about Ethereum that are bullish for it is, you know, they've got the ETFs. There might be some staking going on with those ETFs. So that makes it just a much more attractive product if you can stake your ETH and via an ETF. And then also there's a lot of stablecoin legislation that's being pushed forward. And with that, USDC does operate on Ethereum rails. And so I think that would be good for Ethereum. And so I think that, you know, there's a lot of kind of hidden stuff going on that I think is really good for Ethereum. And everybody's just so, you know, bearish about it, you know, just like this meme here. And I just think, you know, with the chart, there's a lot going on with it. So yeah, I feel really good about it, but I do think that, you know, I should be risking more on Ethereum than I am on something like Doge. But, you know, this is with a, you know, the time scale of, you know, the remainder of 2025, not hodling forever. But yeah, I don't want to be spending too much time on this stuff, so I will move on to the next one, which is RLC. And I'll pull up the chart for this because I think there's kind of a nice lesson for it. Oh, and actually, no, wait, I'm going to pause. I'm not going to talk about RLC real quick because like with Ethereum, I can just pull up the chart here. You know, I put out this video, you know, ETHster, about Ethereum coming down to, you know, 1,400 and that potentially being the bottom. And I got a comment that, you know, well, you know, it could come down to 12. Yeah, I mean, it could come down to 1,200, but maybe it doesn't. And, you know, do you want to be waiting and not being able to take off because you're waiting for that level. And so I've been in that scenario with Bitcoin. I was waiting for it to come down to 12K in 2023, and that didn't happen. I got left behind. And so, in that sense, you don't want to be these ETH holders or ETH wanting to holders and get left behind. So sure, it could come down to 12, but my thesis is that this could be going back up to 4,000 easily. And so if it comes down to 1,200, great, I just add more. And if it comes down to 1,000, great, I just add more. But if it doesn't, I'm not going to be getting left behind. If it goes up to 4, if it goes up to 6 or 8,000, whatever it is. So I think that's something that's really good to consider with the plan. But anyways, talking about RLC, let's go over that. So, and actually, before I do that, I should just delete all of the numbers here. So I do add them as I go, just like with the market cap. And so, and actually the price, what I should do, before I get onto RLC, I'm actually going to backtrack. And so the price, what I should do for these is I should do the closing price from yesterday. I think that's probably a better way to do this. So Bitcoin, and I think I was looking at this on Coinbase. Yep. And so what was the closing price on the candle for yesterday? That's the number that I should put in there. So the closing price was 94,709, 94,709. So I'll do 94,709. Okay. And then I'm not going to be doing pennies on Bitcoin. Actually, maybe I could, just kind of going at the 94,708.79, 94,008.79. That was the close from last night. So I'm basing this on, that. And let's see. I'll probably want to adjust this market cap for next week's video if I do a follow-up. But thinking about Doge, let's go over that. So Doge, and I want to look at this on, I think, Binance is what I did. No, I did something else. I think I did Coinbase, wasn't it? So I'll do Trading View. Crazy. What was I drawing this on before? I don't know. Did I just draw this stuff? Yeah, I just drew this stuff. Okay. Going crazy here. So what was Doge's close from yesterday? That was 1819. So I'll just type that in here. And I will move that over one. So that is for Doge. And then Ethereum, what was Ethereum's close from yesterday? And then for that, I think I was looking at it in Coinbase, if that's correct. Yep. And so the close from yesterday was 1785.95. So 1785.95. There we go. Close from Friday. And so now let's just take a look at RLC. And so this, I'm risking, over $1,000, which is like, in all honesty, really stupid. And, I kind of recognize that. And that's partly, why I want to be doing these videos, or at least doing the spreadsheets for myself. And that is going to be, if we come back over here, look at RLC, and this is RLC USD, Coinbase there. I got a bunch of stuff I've previously drawn here, but basically, I was introduced to RLC, back here. I believe I had an average of around $9, but then it was down over here. I kind of more aggressively got my average down to around $3. And I am P&L 100%. Dang. So let's put the price in here from yesterday, and so we can see where that's at. So the close from yesterday was 12588. So 1.2588. And so I will adjust that as well. And we can see that I'm down about 60%. My average is around $3.19. I have over 400 of them. And, you know, I had just been trying to aggressively get my average down. But I think that it's not really worth the risk now because maybe this dies. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't though. Maybe it's going to break out. I have no idea. But let's see. Just coming back to, it's like not those all-time highs, but maybe if I just draw a little trend line over here, maybe something like that. Yeah, I mean, did break above it a little bit, but maybe there's something. You know, that's some potential, and that would be getting to like 227. The highs over here were around 460. And yeah, getting up to the highs here, that'd be around 580. That would be, you know, in some profit. So, you know, I don't think it's worth risking, you know, more than $1,000 on something like that. I think it's very speculative, especially I think if we look over at the market cap. So I'm going to have to search for this one. So search for RLC. What is the market cap for that? And let's see where that, where's the number where that I can just copy and paste for this. Let's see. Market cap. Okay, I want to copy that number. So let's see if I can do it. No, I want to. And so let's see, did I copy that number? I did. That's awesome. Okay, so with that, you know, I'm not going to include the decimal there because I don't think that's useful. But yeah, oops, divided by, and then I'll divide that by 1 million. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, and crap. What did I do here? What did I do here? I need to paste that in there and then match the destination formatting. Crap. But yeah, I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to, you know, I'll just divide it by 1 million. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's 92 million. It's a very small market cap. And so I think that, you know, there's definitely a lot of potential that this could blow up and that that market cap could grow really high, but I don't think it's worth risking over $1,000. So I'm just going to chill. I'm not going to try to get my average down. That is why my daily DCA is not applicable, because I am not attempting to get that down. So I'm just chilling. Maybe if I have some extra cash on the side, maybe I would want to do that. But really just looking at that, looking at this, I don't think I really want to. So I'm just chilling. And so I guess maybe what would be, you know, a better way to do this is maybe enter the numbers here and then reveal. So I might do that for Ethereum Classic, ticker symbol ETC, which is next on the list. And so I'll just go back here. Let's see, to coin market cap. And then I think I can just scroll down to ETC because I think it's probably on the first page here. And then I can probably just copy that a little bit easier. Doesn't make me feel confident though that, let's see, Pepe is a higher market cap than Ethereum Classic. But, you know, just copy that number. I will paste it here and match the destination formatting. Okay. And then just do this and divide that by 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. $1 million. And so that's, you know, notably higher than RLC, but still pretty small. And then let's look over at the chart. Let's see, ETC, USD, and I want to be looking at on Coinbase. And so for this one, yeah, I mean, I've done a bunch of drawings here. And yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll just leave them up there because who cares? And so let's see, what was the closing price from yesterday for this? That was $17.25. So I'll put that in here, $17.25. There we go. And now with that being said, I'll just reveal my position. So my average is $23. I was DCAing with this, I think $1 a day for basically all of 2024. And I ended up accumulating about 33 of those coins. I'm down about 25%. I'm not DCAing anymore just because, you know, I think, you know, it's an alt. I've put less than 1,000, so better than RLC, but I don't think I should be risking that much, at least not relative to some others, because recently I didn't really have that much ETH. Now I have more, so I feel better about that. But yeah, I mean, where could I see this going? If my average is 23, where could I see this getting up to? I mean, the high up here, 41, that was hit in December. And so maybe we could be going back to there. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to clear this chart. I'm just going to delete all this stuff, remove all 3 drawings. But yeah, I mean, even just thinking about the highs from back here, 2018, where is that? Well, let's just draw a horizontal ray from those highs. That's around 47 bucks. So, I would be, more than 2x there. And I think that there is possibility it could go up to 100 or more than that. So, a little bit of a gamble, but, between now and the end of the year, I'm just going to hold those. And maybe if I have some cash on the side or want to do a dollar DCA with that or something, I would. Because with Robinhood, it's very easy to do a dollar DCA. Whereas with RLC, with Coinbase, it's difficult to do the dollar DCA. So I was doing in like kind of lump sums. I think I was doing $10 a week. But then I realized I should have just done, a $100 buy or something like that. And yeah, I could definitely, if I, at this current price, 125, and actually I am going to just do that. It's a little too much. But Doge, I'll respect Doge and I'll give it the extra decimal points. But yeah, with RLC, 126, I could pretty aggressively get my average down. But I think it's a gamble at this point with this much money, so I'm not going to do it. And then so the next one on the list is going to be Ondo. Let's take a look at that. Let's look at their market cap. I might have to search for this one. I'm not sure where it would be on the list. And maybe I can scroll down to find it. Ondo. Is Ondo here? Yes, it is. It's 31. So very cool. And actually, maybe I want to do some stars. I don't know that I have added to watch list. I don't have an account. So I don't know if that will be useful. But so I'm just going to star these ones that, I do have on my list. Don't have Shiba Inu though. But let's see, Polkadot, do got that. They got a nice little animation there. That's pretty cool. And then where am I? Pepe, I do have Pepe. Uniswap, actually, I don't have Polkadot. I have Uniswap. The pink, oops, I'm screwing this all up. I don't have any pink Polkadot, but I do have some Uniswap. Aptos don't, but here, Ondo. Okay, let's look at this. And, okay, so the market cap, let's just copy this number. Actually, no, I didn't want to do it like that. I want to just copy like that. And that was for Ondo, yes. And so I can just paste that number over here, match the destination formatting, make sure that's the correct, that's not the correct number. So I just want to copy that, paste it here. Match destination formatting. And then I am just going to divide that by 1 million there. And so that's, bigger than Ethereum Classic. Crazy. And let's see, what is the current price of Ondo? Let's look over here. USD, which is going to be from Coinbase. I haven't looked at this. It's a newer coin. But yeah, let's see. Zooming in here. This closed yesterday at a price of 99.052. So 99.052. And I'm just going to leave it at 99 cents. And so what is my position with this one? I think I am in the red a little bit. Down about 9%, not so bad, right around $1. This one, I have about $200 worth. And you will notice that's a little bit bigger than most of these other ones down here, about twice as much. And so the reason why I kind of went twice as much with Ondo is just because I feel like it seems like it's got a compelling potential to be, to tokenize assets or commodity, whether it's commodities, equities, stocks. And so I find that to be really interesting. I think that it has a lot of utility. So I'm intrigued by Ondo. I'd actually like to get more of it, but I just, it's a little bit higher up on the risk profile. In my view, that's why I'm only risking, $200 on that. But, you know, where could I see this going? I mean, I could see this going back to the all-time highs, which were, you know, up here around 214. So there's a potential 2x potential, but I could also see this, you know, alt season, see this really taking off. And I could see this be maybe $10, something like that. So, you know, with this, I could trim, you know, half of this once I get to 2x and then just hold the rest as like moon bags. You know, to sell by the end of the year. Basically all of these to sell by the end of the year, except for Bitcoin and maybe a few others, or just to take profits so that whatever I'm holding is house money, so no big deal. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of, you know, my position with Ondo. Now let's look over to the next one, which is going to be Litecoin. So let's look up the market cap for Litecoin, which I believe is going to be further down here, but maybe not. I'm not sure. It's possible I've already, I believe this is just going to 100. Fartcoin. Hey, I think Litecoin's a higher market cap than Fartcoin. So yeah, Litecoin's up here. That's number 22. And so let's just highlight this number. And let's see, to copy that number there. And I will paste it over here. And I don't know why it, let's see, copy that. I need to learn how to copy those numbers from CoinMarketCap a little bit better. But yeah, so let's see. I've got that there, and then I'm just going to divide that by 1 million. And so that's you know, right there. And then the price that it closed at last night, this is Litecoin, so LTC USD. And so I will do that from Coinbase. And let's zoom in here. The closing price from yesterday was 86.33. So let's type that in here, 86.33. And then now let's reveal my position. So it looks like, you know, I'm risking $168. My average is above where it currently is. I'm down about 14%. I was doing a daily dollar cost average. I did want to get this up to $2, you know, kind of having a similar feel with Ondo, but really not necessarily based on fundamentals, really just based on, I like Litecoin's X account. I like following them. I think they're pretty funny. They have some good memes. And yeah, so just having some fun with it, but trying to be, you know, less risky, focusing more up here. So I'm kind of laying off on the Litecoin there. But yeah, I mean, where could this be going? I mean, we can just take a step back and look at the all-time highs. Very cool. Hit all-time highs around almost at 420. So yeah, I mean, that's, you know, a 4x from where we're currently at. Also got this red line here. That's around 132. So that's, well, not a 2x from current price. That is definitely more than 4% what I'd be getting on savings. So I think that's pretty appealing there. So I like that, but I could hold it. I could see it getting, you know, maybe up to 400, maybe up to 200, you know, something like that. So that would be from my average, you know, about a 2x at least. So I think that's fairly compelling there. And let's see, I maybe should have adjusted this one to not be Trezor. I am holding it via my Trezor, but it's actually not directly on the Trezor or directly via the Trezor. It's through Stellar's platform, their website or whatever. I don't know, however that works. I'm not that familiar. And so I guess I'll talk about that a little bit. But yeah, I will, let's see, open up the market cap for Stellar. Wow, that's higher than Litecoin. Okay, cool. And so let's see if I can just copy this number and see if that works. Stellar, that was around 8.9 billion. Is that right? I'll just paste that in there. That's the correct number. And I'm just going to then divide this by 123, 123. So that looks like the market cap is, so that's divided by a million, so that looks like it's 8.9 billion. And the price from yesterday for, that's Stellar XLM, let's look them up. Oops, XLM. Oop, and that's not what I wanted to do. excuse me, I wanted to do Coinbase. There we go. And so what was the closing price yesterday? And this looks like a really, really nice chart, I have to say. What do we have here? We have from these highs down to there, we have a beautiful breakout. Look at that. That's actually really cool. I like this chart a lot. And yeah, and let's see, what are those all-time? I'll come back to that. We'll talk about that in a second. And let's just see what the closing price was from yesterday, the 25th. That was 283642, 283642, 283642. And so let's do 28. And then let's see what my average is. And that, I'm down 35%, about $100. I've got about 233 of them. And where could I see this going? Let's see, what was that prior high, that breakout? Would suggest kind of maybe that's the target where it could be going to. So that horizontal line is right around 63 cents. So from now, that's a 2x. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And from my average at 44 cents, let's see, 44 cents, it's right around here. Going up to there, that's a 43% move to the upside. So that's definitely more than what I'd be getting in a savings account. So I think that's pretty nice there. So I like it. I like it. And now Pepe. Let's get into some more speculative, some stupid stuff. I just think Pepe's fun. I like Pepe. I like the good morning memes. And yeah, just got to have fun with them. And so, okay, so Pepe is not that high on the list. Not as high as Shiba Inu. Let's see, Pepe, here is number 28. Let's copy that market cap. And let's see, that's not the correct number there. So I've got two Pepe. There we go, that should copy that, 3.8 billion, I believe. Okay, and then just divide that by 123, 123. There we go, Pepe. And the price is, let's see, let's look over here at TradingView to look at Pepe. And this is the market cap. I don't want that. I want Coinbase, US dollar. Okay, and so this also, not as much history. Maybe that's just because it's new, but this does kind of look like it broke out as well. And so let's see what was the close from yesterday, 25th. It was 0000906. So 5 zeros, 906. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 906. I had that formatted correctly. And so let's see what my position is with this. Slightly above $100. And my average is 19 cents. So I'm down about 53% with that, but I'm only risking $100, so no big deal. Got about 5 million of them. And, where could this potentially be going? 19 cents, maybe I said 19 cents. I mean 19, whatever that number is. And let's see, getting up to the all-time highs. I believe that's all-time highs. That would be in the green for me. So from my average around 19, whatever, this is not cents, but around here up to there, that would be about almost a 50% profit for me. And then if we do look at, kind of a downtrend here, just from the tops, just being kind of approximate, maybe we do it like that. Does look like we broke out. So I think that's looking good. And so I feel like, hey, maybe we're getting into alt season, or maybe Bitcoin's going to rally, and then we'll get into alt season, and then these will go really high. So yeah, just for fun, don't plan on adding to that, but maybe putting this all up here, maybe that's of interest, and maybe I can adjust the order of these based on market cap. I'm sure you can tell that I have adjusted them based on what I'm risking. And so with that being said, let's go on to the next one, which is going to be Aave. Let's pull that up over here. Aave, I don't know that Aave was over here. Not that high, definitely not that high. But where can I find it? Aave right here. I'll add that to my favorites. If that's saved, I am not sure, but let's copy that number. 2.5 billion. And that did copy over here just fine. And let's type that, divide that by 123 at 1 million. And so that's about 2.5 billion, as I had said. Let's pull this up over here, Aave, and let's look at it in Coinbase. And so this, again, we've got this potential, breakout here looking nice. I mean, we're seeing this in a lot of these. So maybe there is something going on with them. I don't know. But let's see, what was the closing price from yesterday? That was at 166.63, so 166.63, type that in there. And then now let's reveal my position. Spoiler alert, I'm probably negative on it, negative 42%, $100. My average is around 285, so as you can see, lower than there. This is one that I was doing dollar DCAs on Robinhood. Same with, a lot of these that just say Robinhood, I was just doing dollar DCAs. And yeah, I mean, but where could I see this going? Is there a potential return that's greater than 4%? I don't know. Let's just go up to here, seeing what, let's see, horizontal ray. The highs were, let's see, these all-time highs, $400, currently around 168. So, and if my average is around 285, it's right around here. That would represent, a 40% move to those highs. So that's definitely a better return than what I'd be getting on savings. So I think that's good. I think it could also go higher. But then let's go on to the next one, Cardano. This is actually one that I just recently moved to cold storage on Trezor because I only had a Trezor 1 before. Now I have a Trezor Safe 3, which can now hold Cardano. So I just moved that there. I feel pretty happy about that. I feel like it's nice and secure. And so that's good. But let's look over at the coin market cap. I can scroll up for Cardano, I believe. This should be in, the top 10. Cardano is number 9. Let's just copy this number over here. 25 billion, I believe. But maybe I'm getting those numbers misaligning zeros or commas or something. I don't know. Let's just divide that by 123, 1 billion, or 1 million, I should say. And that's actually an incorrect number. Duh. I need to copy that. There we go. And then I'll do this, trying to streamline this a little bit better. Type that into there. I can delete those commas. 25 billion. Okay, so, and actually, well, what I should do, market cap, is so this, maybe I want to multiply it by 1 million. And that is so the market cap will be that number. No, it should be divided by. Yeah, because that's what we're seeing here. Okay, so, and then the price. Let's check out the price of Cardano, ticker symbol ADA, and looking at that over here, did close yesterday at a price of 71.38. 71.38. And now let's see what my position is. And so my position, I'm down 2%. Dang it. My average, it looks like it's 73 cents. This is when I just more recently moved to cold storage, had finished my daily DCAs, not doing that anymore. And let's see. Yeah, I mean, I'm down 2%. And where could I see this going? And I actually started DCAing when it was around $1, and so it's pretty cool. I must say that my average is lower than $1. But let's see, looking at this history, all-time highs, crazy, up here, around $3, or more recently, I guess this would have been from December of 2024, around 132. So from where it's currently at, or from where, which is basically my average, up to there, that's around an 86% move to the upside. So that is, pretty nice, I must say, feeling good about that. And yeah, but I think it could go up a lot more than that. So potential 2x right there for sure. But Cardano is probably one that I'd be a little bit compelled to hold on to for the long term, but we'll see. And so, I want to have that mindset because I want there to be a real blow off top. And then it's like, no, Cardano is above $3. That's never happened. From current price, what is that? That's a 340% move to the upside. And then so at that point, then it's like, yeah, way better than 4%. Get out, get out, get out. Something like that. And so Avalanche, let's see. Let's look at the market cap for this one. Avalanche right here. Let's see if I can copy this number. That's 9 billion. Let's see if it, okay, so that worked. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, divide that by 1,000,000. There we go. And let's see what the average, yeah, I need to pull up Avalanche AVAX, and we'll do this from Coinbase. So the close yesterday, let me just zoom in here a little bit, that the close was 22.18, so 22.18. Now let's see what my position is. And so I'm down 8%. Another one that I recently finished DCAing into, $100. That's what I'm risking. Got 4.16 of them. My average is 24 bucks, a little bit lower than where it's currently at. Where could I see this going? I mean, even just getting up to here, 55, that's a more than 2x for my average. Up to here, that is 146. That's pretty nice. And then, just let's see, over to here, be a little bit conservative, 55. Yeah, I mean, that's a 2x, so I feel, happy about that. And that is one that I am just storing on Robinhood because MetaMask was too much of a pain for me, not worth it. And then so now here, Chainlink, this is one that I'm pretty interested in, the similar reasons as to why I'm interested in Ondo. And also Sergey, I forget his last name, the CEO of Chainlink. He was at the crypto summit at the White House, and he actually said some words in the, like 5 minutes that we got of it. I believe that was Sergey at least. And yeah, that is for, tokenizing things like stocks, equities, yeah, so I think that, tokenizing a lot of things, Chainlink, Ondo will have a lot of application. But let's see here. I think that Chainlink is going to have a much larger market cap than Ondo. So I would think that would make me, more intrigued by, Chainlink right here, number 12. That'd make me more intrigued by Ondo because maybe it could catch up with Chainlink, And so let's just copy this number here, 9.7 billion. And let's just divide that by 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 million there. And so, yeah, I mean, that's, let's see, Ondo is 3 times smaller than Link, so than Chainlink. So, yeah, and if we look over here at Link, pulling this up here. Whoa, I got some levels there. I'm just going to delete them. And this doesn't necessarily look like it's broken out, but, let's see. What was the closing price from yesterday? The 25th, that was 14.927. So 14.927. And now let's see what position I have. So again, just $100, risking that, down 34% though. Maybe this is one that, to kind of like match Ondo that I'd want to like double up on. But, I'm not doing that yet. I'm not planning on doing that. So just kind of chilling. But, from $22 or $23, my average down 34%. Let's see, my average is right around here. Dang. But there's, some upside potential from prior highs. And so let's see the high over here, 52, 53 bucks. And then the high over here around 30. So, from my, $23 average, what kind of percent move is that? So let's see, right around there. That's, 32%, 33% to the upside, much better than when I get with 4% savings. And then up to here, over 2x, so 128% move to the upside there. So definitely a lot of potential, even with my average, being down, 34%. And so, yeah, a lot of potential there. Loopring, this is one I'm probably not as happy about that I bought, but I'll, go over it. And this, was initially put on my radar because of GameStop. And this is one that I'm probably going to have to search for, but maybe I'll just scroll down to see if it's down here. Algorand don't have that. And let's see. Am I finding anything down here? Nope. Decentraland, dog with hat. I think it's funny. But yeah, so what I will do is I will search for, what was I looking at? Loopring LRC. And so let's search that and just copy this number here. Yeah, this is embarrassingly small. And I'll probably put that on my watch list. Oh, wait, what? No, I want to add this. There we go, cool. So I'll put that market cap there. Not a good sign when there's a decimal in it. It's a little too small. So I'll just divide this by 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 million there. And so that's, yeah, RLC, that same page. RLC is definitely like the smallest market cap one that I hold. Don't really feel, feel a little bit risky about that. Let's look at the price of Loopring over here. So LRC, looking up the Coinbase chart. And we can see that the closing price, let's zoom in here. From yesterday, the 25th was at 10.58 cents. So 0.1058. And now let's see what kind of position I have here. Down 45%, not as bad as Pepe, so that's good. Not as bad as RLC, but I don't think any of them are going to be as bad as RLC. And so my average is 19 cents, down a little bit there. But yeah, I mean, where could I see this going? It does look like, it's kind of, let's see, broken out from this trend line. So that looks kind of good. It's kind of an approximate trend line. And then taking steps back further, let's see, where are some levels that maybe this could, find a top at right around here. Another one right around here. Or, dang, up here. And so, with my average at 19 cents, this, believe it or not, is pretty close to a 2x from my average, even though it's looking really bad. Down whatever percent I am. So from 19 cents up to there, that is 72% up here. That's 192%. And then if I take a step back, I'm not expecting this to happen. But, from, let's see, 19 cents, a little above 19, that's, close to 2,000%. So, yeah, I mean, there's some, risk to reward, got to balance that. And, yeah, so, I mean, that's definitely better than savings. Got potential as long as I exit, because it's speculative. A lot of these are speculative. But the next one, I feel like I need to have more of, and that's Solana. And let's just come back to the list over here. Just scroll down to, where is Solana? It's got to be close to the top, number 6. Yeah, let's copy this number here. Put that in the market cap. Match that formatting and just divide that by 1 million. I got that right. Didn't count the zeros, but yeah. So that's a $77 billion. And it does, make sense there. And so let's look up SOL over here. And I want to look at that on Coinbase, not but derivatives though. I want to look at this. And so what was the close from Friday? that was 150.91, so 150.91, and then let's see what my position is. Oh, and hey, look, it's a little bit exciting. I am doing a daily dollar cost average, $5, so not that much. I really just want to, personally, I just want to have at least one Ethereum, and then once I have one Ethereum, then I will probably do more aggressive, probably split. So like, you know, that would be 18 Ethereum per day, 18 Solana per day, something like that. But it looks like currently I'm up 3% on my position based on the current price. And, you know, so it's not as good as savings, but I think that there's a lot of potential with Solana. It does look like it potentially broke out here. And then even just getting to the highs here, let's say just from, you know, current price, which is around my average, that's around 100% move to the upside. And yeah, that would be, you know, the all-time high apparently. So 2x potential there, you know, I like it. I think there's a lot of application, just like Ethereum, but perhaps Solana is taking some of that market share of Ethereum. And actually, the thing that got me onto wanting to get some Solana is Trump, you know, not having anything to do with politics, nothing like that, really just knowing that there are a lot of very adamant Trump supporters, people who love him so much. And this just seemed like kind of a fun thing to partake in. So upon its announcement, I waited a little bit. And then I started doing very boring $1 daily DCAs, and we will see where I'm at relative to current price. Super boring, but you know, I think that is a way to establish a position, is to do daily boring dollar cost averages. I think I had Trump added to it. Yes, right here it's number 34, and here it looks like it's a $3 billion market cap. So I'm just going to copy that and paste it over here, and let's just see. 3. Okay, so that's the correct number. And let's see, then just divide that by 123, 123. And so that's, you know, 3 billion. And let's see where it's currently trading at. So let's see, Trump. And this is going to be on all of the exchanges because everybody supports the new president. And so yesterday it closed at a price of $13.35, and it's up from there, but $13.35. Now let's reveal my position. Ah, man, I'm at break even. But, you know, I know that there were a bunch of people that bought right up here. I think that it'll probably go past that price. And so even just getting back to that price, you know, right around here, $43, or maybe that high that it hit, I think it's around, 50. I thought it hit 60 or something, but, you know, maybe I'll just do it from there. 43, you know, this is, you know, my average, and actually I'm in the green because it's gone up. And so that's, you know, 230%. So like him, hate him, love him, fear him, whatever, you know, just having some fun. And so, yeah, I'm not doing any more daily DCAs with this. Did get it on Robinhood, transferred it to cold storage via Solana. And so, yeah, we'll see what happens. I think that that could be a really nice return later in this year. And then the next two, let's see, the final ones on the list. Let's see, Uniswap. Let's look over here. Uniswap right here is number 29. Just copy that number over. And let's see if that transfers correctly. So 36, yep, okay, so match destination formatting, and then divide that by 123 million. And let's see, it's $3.6 billion Uniswap. Let's type that in over here, and Coinbase. And so that closed yesterday at a price on the 25th of $5.83.1, $5.83.1, $5.83.1. Now let's reveal my position. I'm probably pretty in the red on this. 57% contending with RLC. But this is when I just did, you know, boring daily $1 DCAs. And I had started this one a little bit early. Looks like I've got about 7 of them. My average is around 13.59, and the price is like 583. So let's look over at the chart. This does look like it has, you know, broken out potentially from this downtrend, just like the others. So that's potentially looking pretty good. And let's just see some levels that it could be going back to. So the horizontal ray, maybe getting up to here around 19. Is that the all-time high? Nope. So we can go up to here. So there are a couple levels that price could potentially be going to. From current price, let's not do that. Let's do it from, actually, I'm going to step back a little bit. Let's do it from my average, which is like 1359, 1360. So that's right around here. So this line that's up 42% potential. Up to here, that's a potential of like 200%, 230%. So I think there's a lot of upside potential, even though I'm down, you know, chilling. And then so now the final one, XRP, this is one that I've more recently been adding to because, you know, I got that Trezor Safe 3, so I could store some XRP as well as Solana and Cardano. And so let's just look over at the market cap of XRP. That's going to be closer to the top, number 4. That's 128 billion, I believe. And so let's just match destination formatting and divide that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 128 billion. And then let's check over at the price. XRP. Coinbase derivatives, I don't want that. I want the dollar. So let's look over here. Wow. Oops. This is, you know, pretty low here. I was not in it then. Would have been great to be. Oh, and actually, I need to, you know, before I reveal it though, let's put the closing price from the 25th, $2.18.27. 218.27. 218.27. Okay. And then let's reveal. Down 7%. Not as good as savings, but you know, I think there's a lot of upside potential with this. And so the recent highs, which might be all-time highs, I'm not sure, was, you know, at 338. My average is 235. So let's look over from there, 235. Going up, that's about 44% move to the upside, and I think it could go higher than that. And it does look like, you know, there's potentially a downtrend here that maybe it's broken out of. And yeah, so I mean, I'm just feeling good about all of these. And, you know, from all of this, you can basically see the risk that I'm taking. So let's see, how many of these are here? This is 11 that I have approximately $100 into each of them. And so those are just kind of, you know, have fun with them. And then these other ones, this is where, you know, it's a little bit more risky and a little bit stupid, especially with like RLC, but we'll see, you know, maybe this will play out really nice. Maybe it won't. I have no idea, but I think that this is generally just better than, you know, 4% APY. And there is a plan with the top being May through December of this year. And yeah, so that's basically a summary of my thesis. And I am going to bring Ed back. And, you know, as always, you know, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Would be happy to do crypto corners on Saturdays. But if this doesn't get many views, if people don't like it, I'll just do this for myself and I won't make a video about it. And that's totally fine. But I just wanted to share it with you guys. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend, enjoying the weather, and I hope you're looking forward to, you know, another exciting week in the markets. But I hope you're able to take a little bit of a break to enjoy the weekend. Yeah, take care, you guys. I'll see you later.